Hi everyone, welcome back to Mocha Yarns. It's very important for your work to turn out correctly. According to the pattern, your needle size needs to match the yarn you are using because the pattern was made for that to happen. Otherwise, it's going to be too big, too bulky, needles too thick on the yarn too thick on the needle. To get your best quality, you always look at that label. This one is a really super fine yarn by Peyton's. This is what I use to make thinner socks that can go in your shoes. So it is a number 1, which is probably the, I would say the thinnest. Super fine. And it says right there, 3.25 millimeters, and at the bottom it says US number 3. And if you're going to crochet, it has the crochet measurements there. I mean needle size. This one doesn't have a needle size because it says needle size and gauge are variable because this is a special technique to knit this yarn. So this would just be you playing around with it. But if I was knitting with this, I think I would use a 6 millimeter needle. If you want the conversion to US needles, there's charts all over the internet. I'll put a link to a chart down below so you can just click on it, whether you're in the UK, Canada, or anywhere in the world. It'll tell you what the conversion of the size is. Most countries are in millimeters except for the United States. They still use imperial measures, so I will put a link to the chart so you can always have it. I suggest you print it off and stick it somewhere with your knitting because patterns, you don't know if they're American, Canadian, but if they're metric, they will say mm beside it. It'll be 5 mm. Okay, so that one doesn't have any needle size, but it's giving you an idea of what the weight is for. This is from Our Wool store, and it's 100% superwash extra fine merino wool. The best in the world other than cashmere and those kinds of things. Superwash means you can wash this. You can put it in the washer, and it should have washing instructions on these labels. Now, this was hand-dyed in Canada and made in Italy. So, and this was hand-dyed to our specifications. So, for this one, do they have the needle size? Yes, they do, right here. Yes. US number 5 or 7.
5 to 7.
Or 4 to 4.5 millimeter. So, and this color was called Running in the Grass, I think. I can't remember, but isn't it gorgeous?
Oh, absolutely.
And this was what the cowboy one, what's it called?
Cowboy in My Boot.
Yeah, there's a cowboy in my boot. That's this one. Isn't it pretty? And again, same weight, same, see, 5 to 7 or 4 to 4.5 millimeter. Now, these are things you probably didn't even notice when you pick up your label and you rip it off. Most important information on that label. They tell you usually how to take care of it. Washing, let me see if this one has washing. Yes, look, it's got the washing label. Not put in the dryer, do not iron, all of those things. This is such important information if you want to have quality work. And another thing, I know you guys are just starting to knit, but when you decide you want to knit something a little bit more permanent or special, I guess, or socks, anything like that, socks, mitts, gloves, scarves that you're knitting for a gift, you want good yarn because it wears out. When I first started knitting, I knit with socks made out of just, this type of yarn. And after 2 or 3 wears, the bottom had holes in them because it's not meant for that. It's acrylic and it was rubbing against whatever.
And it's great for like throwaway for the kids.
Yeah, for my kids, grandkids, Janet's grandkids, for hats and mitts. Perfect, because they're going to lose them. So you're not going to spend extra money. So if you wonder why different yarns cost a lot, like this little ball of Peyton's yarn, it is only 50 grams, and this ball of yarn is $9. So, you know, it's because it's Peyton's. It's also because it has this variegated stitch. It's all in the quality of the yarn. Whereas you might get one of that purple ball, big, huge ball of it for $8. You get what you pay for. So you have to keep that in mind when you are ready to start knitting a really quality item for yourself. You want it to last forever. And that's why yarns cost what they do. Like ours are on the high end, and you know, then you go down. But these are exclusive yarns that are specifically hand dyed. And that's the difference in the quality of the wool. So it's just like fabric. You can go in and buy the most beautiful cotton that's like so soft, or you can buy some pilly cotton.
It's like your bed sheets.
Exactly, like the thread count. So that's how to explain this yarn. So I just want you guys, when you're knitting, when you continue on with your projects, get the wool to match the needle size, or get the needle size to match the wool you really, really like. Because the stitches are the same. Doesn't matter. It's just the needle to the wool.